Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. It was close to midnight when my phone lit up. The apartment was quiet. Anna had been gone for 2 days on her bachelorette trip, a cabin by the lake, her friends, wine, and matching pajamas. I figured she needed the break. I was fine with the silence. The text came through like any other notification. Hey Nick, so this is awkward. I ran into Samuel. We ended up talking, then drinking, and we kind of made a mistake. I slept with him. It just made me realize I'm not over him. I think I need to follow my heart this time. I'm sorry. I'm staying with him. Please don't make this harder. I stared at it for a long minute. No panic, no heartbreak, just a kind of cold stillness spreading through my chest. A second message popped up almost immediately. I'm keeping the ring. It feels fair. It's part of my story now. Please don't contact me. The ring. The one she'd chosen herself, a custom sapphire piece from a boutique jeweler. 60 grand, charged to a credit line she opened under her name. She'd called it a career move, something to boost her luxury brand image. I'd been paying it off for her every month like clockwork. Now she was wearing it for another man. I read her messages again. The "made a mistake" line stuck out. She'd made a decision and dressed it up as an accident. I typed one word, noted. Then I opened my laptop, logged into my bank app, found the automatic transfer labeled Anna Ring Payment, canceled it. Next, I opened my email and attached the most recent boutique statement. Per your message, our arrangement is over. This balance is now yours. Best of luck. I hit send, closed the laptop, sat in the quiet again. The wedding was supposed to be in 2 months. Instead, I was sitting in an empty apartment, staring at a dark screen, realizing the hardest part was already done. I didn't sleep that night. My head wasn't spinning, just organizing. By sunrise, I'd made coffee and opened a legal pad. There wasn't much to think about, only things to do. The condo was mine. I'd bought it before Anna and I met, paid off half the mortgage, and never added her name to anything. She liked to say we shared everything, but legally, that wasn't true. So, the first thing I did was change the smart lock code. Then, the Wi-Fi password. Around 7, I called Mac, my brother's old lawyer. I left a short message. Need consultation on a broken engagement and property. She's left the state. He called back an hour later. Calm voice, direct questions. He said he'd draft a notice confirming that Anna had voluntarily abandoned the residence and set up a window for her to collect her belongings later. No drama. All paper. After that, I opened the wedding spreadsheet. The venue, catering, photographer, and florist, all prepaid deposits. About $12,000 total. Gone. I sent cancellation emails to every vendor. I didn't ask for refunds, I just wanted it over. The rest of the morning I boxed her things. Dresses, shoes, makeup. I labeled them neatly and stacked them by the front door. I left her laptop on top. When I looked around, the condo finally felt quiet, orderly, impersonal. That evening, Mac emailed the formal notice to Anna's last known address and her parents' house. It stated she had 30 days to retrieve her property, or it would be considered abandoned. I leaned back on the couch. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. It just felt clean. For a few days, everything stayed quiet. No calls, no texts, just silence. I thought maybe she'd decided to just disappear with Samuel and let the whole thing die. Then came the first voicemail. It was Danielle, her maid of honor. Hey Nick, so Anna's kind of in a situation. Her card got declined last night at dinner, and she said you usually cover it. Can you please take care of it? She's embarrassed, okay? Embarrassed. That word actually made me laugh. I deleted the message without responding. 2 hours later, my phone rang again. Gregory, Anna's father. He'd always had that overly polite tone, like every sentence was part of a sales pitch. Nick, I'm hearing some confusing things from Anna. She says you stopped making her payments? I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. It's not, I said. The engagement is over. The credit line is in her name. It's her debt. Now hold on. You promised to take care of her. That ring was a commitment, and so were those payments. The commitment ended the night she texted me about her reunion with Samuel. The silence that followed was sharp enough to cut through the phone. Then his voice turned cold. You'll regret this, son. Don't make an enemy out of this family. He hung up before I could answer. That night, around 9, the building intercom buzzed. I checked the camera. Anna, standing in the hallway with Samuel beside her. She looked furious. "Nick, open the door," she snapped into the speaker. "You changed the code. You'll need to contact Mac to schedule pickup. Don't play lawyer games with me. I live here." "You lived here." 20 minutes later, 2 officers knocked. They said Anna had reported an illegal lockout. I showed them the deed, the lawyer's letter, and the text where she said she wasn't coming back. One officer read the message twice, then looked at her. "Ma'am, this says you left voluntarily. This is a civil matter." Samuel shifted beside her, his face tight. He glanced at the ring on her finger, then back at me. I could almost see it click. The debt wasn't mine. It was hers. When the officers left, Anna shot me a glare that could burn concrete, but I didn't move. For the first time, I had all the power. After that hallway scene, I thought she'd back off. But Anna never walked away quietly. Her revenge started small, hidden under polite gestures. 3 days later, my mailbox overflowed. Letters, packages, glossy catalogs. She'd gone online and changed her mailing address to my condo, trying to build a paper trail that she still lived there. Clever, but not smart enough. Mac's response was quick. He had me mark them, "Return to sender, recipient does not live here," and send them right back. Then he mailed her a formal letter warning that further mail sent to my address would count as harassment. That same week, I got an email from our wedding photographer. "Nick, I was so sorry to hear about the cancellation." Anna explained the situation and how difficult it's been for you both. She mentioned using your deposit for a New Beginnings shoot with Samuel. I wanted to check if that's okay. I read it twice before laughing out loud. She really tried to use my deposit to fund a photo shoot with the man she cheated with. I forwarded it to Mac, and within the hour, he'd replied to the photographer himself. "Any funds paid by my client cannot be repurposed for another client. Attempting to do so would be a conversion of property." The photographer apologized, mortified, and cut all contact with her. Then came the social phase. Anna started posting cryptic captions online, photos of sunsets, half-empty wine glasses, quotes about being betrayed by the one who promised forever. It was bait, meant to make me look guilty. A few mutual friends texted to check in. I didn't reply. Meanwhile, Mac tightened every loose end. He filed documentation confirming her text as a written abandonment of tenancy, logged the police visit as evidence, and had the building manager note all attempted entries. By the end of the week, she had nowhere to legally stand. Still, I knew Anna. Silence only meant she was planning her next move. And she didn't disappoint. It was the following Monday when Mac called and said, "We've got mail." His tone had that dry edge that meant trouble, but a predictable one. Anna had hired a new attorney and sent a demand letter. It accused me of wrongful eviction, emotional distress, and fraudulent inducement into the boutique credit line. She wanted me to take full responsibility for the $60,000 debt or pay her $90,000, $60,000 for the ring and $30,000 for credit damage and emotional suffering. Mac summarized it over the phone, almost amused. "She's suing you to pay for a ring she's still wearing." He drafted our reply that afternoon. Her text showed clear voluntary abandonment, not duress. All property in the condo was purchased and owned by me before she moved in, and the payments toward the ring were conditional gifts tied to marriage. When she ended the engagement, the condition was void. He attached copies of her messages as exhibits. I thought that would be the end of it. Then Samuel called. Shaky voice. "Nick, man, listen. I know you don't owe me anything, but Anna's falling apart. The jeweler's calling nonstop. They've sent collection notices. She says you set her up." I stayed silent. He kept going. "She tried to sell the ring, and the boutique told her it's worth maybe $20,000 on resale. She's drowning. You could just pay it and move on." "You mean she could move on?" I said. There was a pause, then a low exhale. "You're really not going to help her?" "She made her choice, Samuel. Now she gets to live with it." I ended the call. For the first time, I actually felt sorry for her, but not enough to save her. The day of the civil standby felt like the end of a long shift I'd never signed up for. At 10 in the morning, Officer Ryan arrived with Mac, calm as ever. "Keep it short. Keep it clean," he said. Anna came with her father, Gregory, and Danielle. She looked tired, not polished like before. Dark circles, plain clothes, no perfume. For the first time in years, she looked ordinary. Gregory, though, was full of energy, jaw tight, voice already sharp. Ryan explained the rules. "Miss Anna, you'll take only what's been listed. You can't enter the rest of the condo. Mr. Nick will stay here. No shouting, no arguments." I opened the door. Her boxes were stacked neatly against the wall. Anna's eyes flicked over them and then to me. "This is all?" Danielle asked. "You're joking. Half her stuff is missing." "Everything on the list is here," I said evenly. Gregory stepped forward. "We're checking the rooms ourselves." Mac blocked the entry. "You'll stay in the doorway, sir. The officer already made that clear." Gregory glared at him. "You people think you can bully her?" Anna ignored them both and reached for the last small box marked jewelry. She picked it up slowly, hands trembling. Then she looked straight at me. "You did this," she said quietly. "You knew this would happen. You let me open that account knowing I'd drown in it." "You insisted," I said. "You told me it was for your brand, remember?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "You were supposed to love me, even when I made mistakes." "I did," I said, calm as stone. "Right up until you texted me from another man's bed." Her father started shouting again, but Officer Ryan raised a hand. "That's enough. Let's finish this." Anna wiped her face, turned away, and walked to the elevator. The ring was still on her finger, shining like a reminder she couldn't afford. When the doors closed, the silence felt like peace. 2 weeks after the civil standby, the noise finally died down. No more calls from Gregory, no more letters from lawyers, just quiet. But I knew that kind of silence, the kind that follows after someone's life starts collapsing piece by piece. I didn't have to guess what was happening. Word spread fast in small circles. The boutique had stopped being polite and sent Anna's account to collections. The interest had jumped to 30%. She was 3 payments behind before she even realized it. Then came the real hit. Samuel left her. One of my co-workers' girlfriends had mutual friends with Danielle, who apparently couldn't stop talking. Samuel couldn't handle the debt, the panic calls from creditors, or her constant tears. He moved out and blocked her number. Gregory tried to step in, of course. He went to the bank to take out a second mortgage to cover her bills. The bank said no. He was already deep in loans from helping Anna with her old boutique business. That was the pattern, I realized. She'd always had someone to bail her out. Parents, friends, me. This time, there was no one left. I heard that Anna had moved back into her parents' house, the same bedroom she grew up in. As for me, I started to settle back into normal life. I took a week off work, repainted the living room. I called my mom and visited for dinner. She didn't say much, just filled my plate and patted my hand. That night, I sat in the quiet, the same room, same chair, same silence. But it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt earned. The chaos had left with her, and for the first time, peace didn't feel like loneliness. It felt like freedom. A month later, I got one last email from Anna. No greeting, no apology, just a single line that read, "Maybe you could finish paying for the ring. It would give both of us closure." I stared at it for a minute, not angry, just amazed. Even after everything, she still thought closure came with a price tag. I forwarded it to Mac without replying. He sent a short response to her lawyer. "Any further contact will be considered harassment and pursued legally. My client owes nothing." That was it. No more emails, no more calls. But people talk, and news travels quietly. Through a mutual acquaintance, I heard that Anna had filed for bankruptcy. The boutique refused to settle. The collectors wanted the full amount plus interest, now over $70,000. The ring was repossessed and sold at auction. It fetched less than $20,000. Anna was working part-time at a small marketing firm, back where she started before all the designer dreams. Sometimes late at night, I still think about that first text. The words, "accidentally slept with my ex." How cleanly she ended our life together with one message. How easily she assumed I'd keep paying for her mistakes. The wedding never happened, the debt wasn't mine, and the noise was finally gone. Now it was just me, the quiet, and the reminder that love without respect isn't love at all. I didn't win. I didn't lose. I just learned. And this time, I kept the silence for myself. Thank you for watching.